Thank you very much, DG. I hope I'm audible. As a program director for this session, Dr. Philip Mjwaha, Mr. Nkululeko Buthelezi, the chair of the South African National Energy Development Institute, the representatives from the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, the Vice Rector for Research, Innovation and Postgraduate Studies at Stellenbosch University, Professor Klute. It's not the first time we are interacting on these important platforms. CEO of Solar Turtle, Ms. Lungelwa Chali, the CEO of the South African National Energy Development Institute, the CEOs of the Wholesale and Retail SETA, as well as the Energy and Water SETA, Mr. Tom Kwanazi and Ms. Mpho Mukapele, respectively, senior officials from my department, my advisors, representatives from business and industry, other government officials, ladies and gentlemen. It really gives me great pleasure to be here today to be addressing you during this significant occasion. I must start by congratulating all those involved in this project for a wonderful product and invention. Also, having listened to the various inputs since this morning and the panelists, I just feel like saying, wow, what a project, what a program. Our resolve as South Africa to be at the cutting edge of science, technology, and innovation, as outlined in our National Development Plan, is being shown through this project we are launching today. It may seem small for now, but I have no doubt that it is a potential huge game changer in our energy space. In addition, it is a good example of how science, technology, and innovation, STI as we shorten it, contributes to changing lives of ordinary people, including supporting sustainable livelihoods. The launch of this project could not have come at a better time or at an opportune time when the world and our country are faced with the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a time that requires generation of more innovative ideas and solutions as we seek to save both lives and livelihoods. Alternative sources of energy are an absolute necessity, both in the here and now and going into the future. Of course, some might ask, but what is the relationship, for instance, between COVID-19 and energy, or relationship between COVID-19 and alternative sources of energy? Of course, the panelists and other contributors have provided many examples of this. I would just like to add on my side to say that there is indeed a very strong relationship between COVID-19 and energy. Scientific evidence shows that most pandemics like Ebola and many other coronaviruses are generated by global warming and the destruction of our natural environment, including climate change, the natural habitat for animals, and deforestation. Therefore, in order to minimize chances of emergence of new pandemics in the future, we must protect our environment. Alternative and renewable sources of energy, like solar and hydrogen-based sources of energy, are precisely what we need to prevent the world and its life from being destroyed for good by pandemics in future. The advantage of technologies like the one we are launching now, is that they are aimed at making alternative and renewable energy to be available to ordinary people, the workers and poor in our country, including the rural areas. For me, this is one of the most important things about this initiative today, because renewable energy must not only be accessible to the wealthy and better off in society, it must be accessible to all. That is also the philosophy of our department, and that's the commitment of our government. That is why I strongly believe that a public company like Eskom must position itself to play a very important role in this space, working in some instances together with smaller players who are actually committed to making sure that alternative sources of energy are available to the poor and the underprivileged. Given the context of today's occasion, I would therefore like to continue along the lines of what I've just said, my introductory remarks, by focusing on how science, technology, and innovation, STI, may provide some of the solutions to sustainable and inclusive economic development. In an innovation-led economic growth and development strategy, the key challenge is that of addressing what is sometimes referred to, and I think the speaker from BBC also talked about this, the innovation chasm. In simple terms, this means addressing and removing the barriers that slows down and in some cases prevent the movement of ideas and inventions from the laboratory into products that play a crucial role in the productive economy, including the commercial sector of our economy. This is a challenge that South Africa has long identified. And our president now, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, wants to address this issue by focusing our department, the Department of Science and Innovation, even more on matters of innovation. So the change in the name of our department from Science and Technology to Science and Innovation is not merely a name change, but it actually implies a new emphasis. And also the president has seen it fit to bring together the Department of Higher Education and Training on the one side and the Department of Science and Innovation under one ministry. This is aimed at closely aligning our skills development and innovation strategies much closer together in order to facilitate an innovation-led economic growth and development strategy. I call upon all of you to make use of this new space of higher education, science, and innovation to take further and strengthen initiatives like the one we are launching today. Allow me just to make a quick example of how this new higher education, science, and innovation landscape can be exploited in the context of this project and other similar projects. I had a few years ago requested the Wholesale and Retail SETA, Sector Education and Training Authority, to launch a training program using metal containers to train young people to fix or to repair cell phones and electrical appliances in the townships and villages rather than taking these to towns and cities. Now, this source of renewable energy we are launching today, incidentally, is an obvious partner for such a project, especially in areas with either no electricity or with faulty or inadequate electricity supply. Within this context, therefore, we can also access and partner with both the Wholesale and Retail SETA and the Energy and Water SETA. I'm pleased the CEOs found time to attend, even if I invited them late because I had not gone through the preparations this morning. As I was going through these preparations only this morning for this session, to say, please do come. Because this partnership between these SETAs can actually expand skills development initiatives to support access to alternative sources of energy, including water provision, by the way, as one speaker said. So I am saying, let all the entities in my two departments exploit these opportunities, including, of course, involvement of our technical and vocational education and training colleges in such initiatives, as some of our universities are already involved, which I'm pleased about. So what I'm pointing out at is that as I was reflecting on this initiative, it struck me how it is such a wonderful platform for collaboration in the skills development and innovation spaces. By the way, is it not time that we empower our TVET colleges in partnership with industry so that we start training, for instance, what I would call green artisans and other mid-level skills in the value chain of the green economy we seek to build? In other words, I'm saying, let's not forget our TVET colleges, because they are absolutely essential in the entire value chain or skills provision for green economy, for green energy, and other initiatives. Now, the story of the DSI, our department, Renewable Energy Portfolio, indicates how government investments may yield important products and results. I'm very pleased to hear all the speakers emphasizing this, especially also from the Black Business Council, because I am of the view that Black business in this country will really turn the corner the day it is able to properly partner with innovation and skills development initiatives of a higher order in order to be able to develop their own independence and to be able to play an important role in our country. According to the Renewables 2020 Global Status Report, renewable energy had another record-breaking year in 2019, pre-COVID, as installed power capacity grew more than 200 gigawatts, which is its largest increase ever. Capacity installations and investment continued to spread to all corners of the world and distributed renewable energy systems and provided additional households in developing and emerging countries with access to electricity and clean cooking services. This has been, amongst others, driven by the low cost, or the reduction of costs, I should say, in accessing some renewable energy technologies. But despite this global shift, the impact of progress is still very limited in our African continent. As the 2016 Africa Power Roadmap indicates, more than 600 million people in sub-Saharan Africa live without access to electricity, and that approximately 32% of the population in sub-Saharan Africa have access to modern energy services. Of sub-Saharans, 49 countries, only 8 countries have more than 60% of the population with access to energy services. The 8 countries are Botswana, Comoros, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Ghana, Mauritius, Seychelles, and South Africa. It's a huge gap, this. That's why I would like that such initiatives must be bold and be ambitious, and we're willing to support you, so that also we do not only address the problems in South Africa, but also we are able to assist in addressing the problems and exploiting opportunities in the rest of the African continent. Based on the Integrated Resource Plan of 2019, which calls for 8.8 gigawatts of solar energy by 2030, I must say to date we're still at approximately 30% of this target. South Africa continues on a journey towards a cleaner national energy system. This, of course, was made possible by our own policies as the Department of Science and Innovation. And it is also a well-known fact that the South Africa Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Program has attracted approximately 200 billion rands of investment into the South African economy. I must say also, DG and honorable participants, I'm glad to learn that a spin-off company, Geosan, from a government-initiated program, Renewable Energy Hub and Spokes, has been instrumental in assisting at least 3 solar energy companies by providing solar irradiation data, which is key in determining bankability and reaching financial close. This facilitation of investments into our economy and the work they do in the rest of the continent would assist in unlocking the continent's potential. The other points that comes out of today's session, and the main reason we are all here, are that at least two things. The relevance of our universities to assisting to resolve socio-economic challenges, one of the main goals we have set for our universities, and the need for entrepreneurial orientation in our society so that we stimulate our economy. I would like to emphasize, let's also not forget our TVET colleges as spaces for innovation, as spaces for skills development, and as spaces that can actually germinate entrepreneurship. I always remind people, by the way, DG, that many of the inventions we know of today were not made by university-trained engineers. Like George Stephenson with the train engine was an artisan. So are many of them who were ordinary working men at the time, only men, as artisans who actually came with innovations. That's why I also emphasize the importance of drawing in our TVET colleges, which are important platforms of training our youth in the value chain of the skills pipeline of what we are doing. On the development of skills by universities through the National Research Foundation, the country indeed needs to develop skilled and knowledge workers that can generate new ideas and knowledge. I am pleased to indicate that a significant portion of the National Research Foundation's budget to date goes towards developing of personnel with the necessary or requisite skills in the various areas. The South African Research Chairs Initiative and the Centers of Excellence Initiative are establishing a number of these instruments to deal with the development of new knowledge and requisite skills. It should be noted that this is a fraction of investments made by the Department of Higher Education and Training and Skills Development. And therefore, that's why it's important to make use of the new higher education in science and innovation landscape, because by so doing, a lot more can be done with the resources that are in this new landscape. The journey of Solar Turtle started because of government's commitment to providing bursary support in renewable energy. But at the same time, I'm also now thinking of how we can improve this work with the TVET colleges by involving the TVET colleges centers of specialization, as well as the education and training capacity funded by the DHET on alternative sources of energy at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. What this points to is that we need more innovation in the management and realignment in the new higher education, science and innovation landscape. This is a challenge now to my officials, because this Solar Turtle initiative has really just brought home to me areas of cooperation that we can identify and work together, which at the moment we are not. And there are plenty of them. I hope my officials will study this speech and be able to say from both departments, how do we strengthen support for initiatives of this nature and beyond. This story of the Solar Turtle can only serve to strengthen our commitment to an economy and development driven by the twin imperatives of skills development and innovation. But this also gives impetus to increase efforts to empower youth, as well as pointing to the benefits of the integration of entrepreneurship into the curriculum of universities, engineering and science faculties, as well as into the curricula of TVET colleges. Our renewable energy programs are not just producing the next generation of scientists and engineers for the workforce, important as that may be, but these programs are also producing a generation of new business leaders and entrepreneurs, as well as public sector managers and policy experts in the energy field. The other point I need to make is that such projects are important platforms and in themselves also are examples in strengthening public-private partnerships in this space, including the most important task of creation of new industries and new companies. Now, this is evident that the policy framework that government has provided facilitates the national system of innovation through the integrated resource plan, solar energy technology roadmap, and our white paper on science and innovation as part of our, so as to ensure those are able to contribute to inclusive development. The niche identified by Solar Turtle team of capacitating the informal economic sector like hawkers and traders in business management through the point of sales management system is one of the key steps towards facilitating the journey towards formalized businesses. I want to ask then, you Babu Mkhwanazi from WNR CETA, how are we to support this capacitation through skills development funds that are in the hands of the CETA? Also, the ability to use mobile energy supply solutions to improve access to internet connectivity will assist the country in ensuring that the poor and the marginalized are part of the transition towards the fourth industrial revolution. Solar Turtle, a spin-off company from the DSI's funded Renewable Energy Hub and Spokes research program, developed a mobile modular solar system with battery storage termed the Baby Turtle. This micro solar kiosk is able to provide power, a router to enable internet connection, and point of sales management systems, as has been said. I'm just underlining this. And the 3 versions that come in different sizes of the Baby Turtle that have been developed. I am informed also that in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Solar Turtle and the new Baby Turtle technology products, which use solar PV technology, battery storage, Wi-Fi hotspots, can be deployed to support emergency situations. I would like to encourage the team to continue identifying the opportunities for application of the Baby Turtle during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Lastly, I am pleased to note that January 2020, the Solar Turtle technology was named one of the most exciting South African inventions over the past 10 years by Business Insider South Africa. The department and myself commend Solar Turtle in this regard. This launch, therefore, is an opportunity to showcase the technology to key stakeholders, that investment made by the country in research, development, and innovation has led to positive outcomes, and that the solar energy research work is transitioning from just an R&D initiative to a manufacturing initiative that can support South Africa's aspirations to localize renewable energy technologies. This is very important for our goal of industrializing our country, but on the back of green energy and a green economy. In conclusion, I would like to take this opportunity once more to congratulate the team at Solar Turtle in their efforts to partner with us, with the universities and government, to ensure that one of the inventions under the renewable energy programs has been successful in making it to the market. As I have said, please also engage with my TVET colleges, because part of the skills, particularly your mid-level skills, needs to be produced there. If they are not yet there, let's begin to partner with the TVET colleges to provide training to our youngsters in these skills. But lastly, of course, let me then officially launch the latest range of Solar Turtle products. I don't know if I have those powers, even if you haven't, but I am officially doing that as one of our important partnerships, the 3 Baby Turtles. But I must end, DG, by saying to the team at Solar Turtle, please always acknowledge that we support you as DSI by ensuring that in all your branding, you also put us and put this brand that is right behind me here. I don't know whether you can actually be able to say it. Thank you. It's a wonderful occasion. And congratulations, and thank you very much to all the participants. Siyabonga, Rialebuka.